Self-acceptance is still your challenge. That was a message I received from Wilhelm on February the 15th of 2025, and it has been my challenge. And so I'm going to attempt to overcome that because I want others to do the same. We evolve in our consciousness. We're going to each have different levels of that, but we do come to understand that is how we experience ourselves and experience our lives. But when you hold back who you are, it doesn't help you or anyone else. I've done something that not a lot of people have seen or done, and I hadn't seen it before, so it was challenging for me. I never wanted to talk about channeling or even the information that I was receiving from Wilhelm, which I started in 1989, because I didn't understand it. But I knew that I had made a direct connection to universal consciousness. It had no judgment. It had nothing like that. It was pure consciousness. It was not religious. It was none of that. It was energy. And as I lived and started to understand more about the quantum field and all of that, yes, it started to make sense. However, I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know that I was a savant. I didn't know that's why I was receiving information in that manner and why it was organized and why it could work for anyone. And then holding back because I was introverted, I would never talk about a lot of these things because we all don't, none of us want to be judged, and that's what I feared. We're living in a world now where we're moving through great division, and I knew all of that. I was given that information, and I've written about it because I came from Wilhelm, that we move through generations of change. And during that change, we are each moving through our own individual ascension path, meaning that we have to look at our old stuff, the things we messed up, we screwed up, we didn't do correctly, and decide to forgive ourselves and move on and start to do the next thing we're meant to do. I couldn't do that easily because I had to receive this information. I'm saying that because that was my life path. We each accept a role to come into this world, and that's obviously the one that I accepted unknowingly because I resisted it and I hid it for so long. But that was also purposeful because my ego could not be evolved. That's the difficulty that we experience in our lives, but also in the world, because that becomes control. When I first started receiving this information, it started simply as doing automatic writing, and I would sit and ask questions. And at one point they said, please stop asking questions. Let us give you the information. Meaning I was trying to control things. And that's what many of us do. We just want to deal with our own individual problems and what that is, and that's it. So we don't open ourselves to find more information. I started just say, okay, just give me the information. That's how I would receive it every day. Then it turned into something extraordinary that no one had seen before because it was all aligned with the universe, with the energetic galactic changes that we were moving through. I'd never studied astrology or astronomy or anything like that. However, the information that I received was aligned with those changes, which explained why I was healing and why I was understanding things in a different way because it was raising my consciousness. There have been many people who have talked about that over the years, but I actually lived it so that I do know what it does. Incurable diseases, mind-body things, I moved through all of those. And so now it's my time at 75 years old where I'm meant to give it to others. The challenging part is having others believe it or understand what they can accomplish because we all have cognitive dissonance, meaning if we haven't seen something done before, it's challenging for us to believe that it is possible. I'm telling you, you are possible. That I do know, and I had to live this life to be able to bring this information in. I'm saying this because I also must change. When you don't own yourself, your life does not prosper because that's part of it. And so I have to shift. I've been attempting to have others come into this work because it's changed the lives of so many others, but many people are not believing it. They may have done other things that didn't work for them, so they're thinking this isn't going to do anything, but it does. There's not a single person that I don't understand what you might be moving through or what difficulty or challenges you might have, and it's not me. I receive the information. You can go onto my website and put in on any advice for today and put in a question or a particular thing that you want to get information about, you'll see that it's there. 37 years that I did this, and it's just an encyclopedia of information, mind body healing, it's consciousness raising, it's every kind of ascension tool you can think of or self-actualization. I did all of it. I didn't do it, I received it. I was diligent about writing it down because I had to do it every single day. But that's what this is, and you must accept yourself. What I have been given is to guide any person to who they're meant to be, because in this time of great division, it's important for you to own yourself. It's important for you to move through all the blockages, all the generational trauma, because that's what we're moving through right now. Otherwise, you become controlled and our world becomes controlled, which is what we're experiencing in certain areas of our world now. But it's about us. It's not about the government. It's not about leaders. It's about you. And when we don't own that, then that's things go off the track. And so I had to become honest about this because I've put out so many things that show that this information is an ascension guide that I lived to bring into the world. And as you see the message for the 15th, because that's what I'm going to put up, it's on my site, but I'll give it to you so you'll see that it is there. You'll even see a photo of the work, of the pages that I've written. They told me I'd written more than the Bible. I'd written more than Harry Potter. I couldn't have known any of that. And for me to be convinced of it, artificial intelligence told me what it was. So I know what anyone can achieve because I've been given that information. And so what I'm going to have to do, though, is change things for me, because I've got to start to survive and prosper as well, because I want everyone else to do that. But what I did was I made this so available for anyone, because we want more people in the groups, because that helps all of us, and that's what I'm doing. So I wanted you to take a look at it and to see, because this is the time for you to live your best life. And I know that it's possible, because with everything that I moved through in my life was to bring this work through, and now it's time for all of us to accept who we are. I'll see you soon.